The dark side of social media, online harassment and cyberbullying. It should not come as a surprise that people behave online similarly to how we do in person, with a mixture of kindness and cruelty, combining the best and worst of human intentions, in a culture that is becoming ever more dependent on technology. In the internet for education, work, entertainment, and connection to our communities. It should come as no surprise at all. The worst is often expressed through forms of cyberbullying, which is described as online harassment. Social terror by technology by a leading national organization dedicated to combating it. Continue reading to learn more about this modern phenomenon and several of the drawbacks associated with cyberbullying. The use of electronic devices to intentionally harass, threaten, or intimidate another person is referred to as cyberbullying. It can take many different forms, such as sending threatening or insulting messages via email, text, or social media platforms. Posting hurtful or embarrassing photos or videos of another person online can also be considered cyberstalking. Cyberbullying has the potential to quickly spread and affect a large number of people. When something is uploaded to the internet, it immediately becomes accessible to a large number of users and can be shared with even more. Because of this, it may be difficult for victims to get away from the bullies. They might have the impression that there is no way to put an end to it. Both the person who is bullied and the person who is bullied can face serious repercussions as a result of cyberbullying. Victims can experience feelings of isolation, anxiety, and depression. In addition to this, they might have trouble sleeping or concentrating in class. Bullies risk getting in trouble with the school administration and even the law. They may also struggle in their interpersonal interactions, which can lead to feelings of loneliness and isolation for the individual. You must disclose your situation to a person who can assist you if you are the target of cyberbullying. This person might be a parent, teacher, or school counselor, but it could also be another reliable adult. You also have the option of reporting it to the social media website where it is occurring. If you notice someone else being cyberbullied, you should not participate in it and you should not distribute the material that is being used for bullying. You can also try to be a friend to the victim and offer assistance to them if you get in touch with them. Bullying that takes place over the internet or other forms of technology is referred to as cyberbullying. Bullying that takes place through the use of digital technologies such as cell phones, laptops, and tablets are examples of what are known as cyberbullies. Bullying can take place between adolescents using anonymous applications, video games, social media platforms, and texting. Those who harass, mistreat, or make fun of another person online or over their cell phones are examples of persons who engage in cyberbullying. In certain circumstances, cybercrime can be prosecuted as a kind of illegal or criminal behavior. The amount of time that kids spend using the internet has increased as a direct result of COVID-19. Which has made it easier for students to connect with their peers and spend more time online. Teenagers of today are the first generation to make use of technology to bully other people. Youngsters who engage in cyberbullying are more likely to have a diminished awareness of the emotions experienced by others. A child has the right to legal protection if he or she is the victim of bullying or cyberbullying. The categories of race, color, religion, gender, age, disability, and national origin are all considered to be protected classes. If the behavior is so severe that it hinders, or interferes with, a student's ability to participate in, or profit from, activities or services, then it may be considered harassment, regardless of whether it occurred online or offline. According to the Office for Civil Rights, kids with disabilities are accorded the same degree of care and respect as other students in line with Section 504 and Title II of the ADA. This is the case regardless of the type of disability the student may have. If a student with a handicap is bullied for any reason, not simply because of their disability, there is a possibility that they will be denied the opportunity to participate in FAPE. Consequences adverse to the practice of cyberbullying. If a child is bullied online, they are more likely to be bullied in person at school, as stated on the StopBullying.gov website. Children who are bullied are more likely to miss school, skip school, or drop out of school altogether than their peers who are not bullied. Children who are bullied but remain in school are more likely to suffer academically, with decreased grade point averages, standardized test scores, and class participation. According to studies, victims of cyberbullying can suffer a wide variety of negative repercussions, including the following: a rise in the number of suicide attempts, increased incidences of both depression and anxiety, feelings of diminished value to oneself, problems falling asleep and staying asleep, more incidences of wetting the bed, and other forms of incontinence, increased incidence of bodily complaints such as headaches and stomach aches. The incidence of eating disorders, which are notably reported to be more prevalent in females who are involved in relationships including bullying, has been found to rise. Some youngsters who were bullied responded with acts of violence. For example, the perpetrators of school shootings in 12 out of 15 incidents that occurred in the 1990s were previously victims of bullying. The people who are bullied are not the only ones who suffer negative effects from the behavior. According to StopBullying.gov, bullies are more likely to engage in the following behaviors: fight it out with people, vandalize property, leave your education unfinished, participate in sexual activity at a young age, misuse of alcohol and other substances throughout one's teenage years and adult years. Adults who have been convicted of crimes or received traffic tickets as juveniles. As adults, demonstrate abusive behavior against their romantic partners, spouses, or children. There is legislation or policy in place to combat bullying in every state, which provides districts and schools with assistance when dealing with the issue. A child has to have a solid foundation in basic online safety practices before being allowed to use a mobile device like a smartphone. Adults being harassed and bullied online. Adults are experiencing it in scary numbers, even though it is easy to think of cyberbullying as something that only happens to children and students and is nothing more than an online extension of abuse that occurs on playgrounds. Pew Research Center conducted a study among individuals in the United States in September 2020 to quantify their exposure to 6 primary types of cyberbullying and harassment that occur online. According to the findings of the study, 41% of people in the United States have been victims of cyberbullying in at least one of its many forms, including aggressive name-calling, physical threats, stalking, sustained harassment, sexual harassment, sustained harassment, and targeted shame. The first 4 of these 6 are considered to be the more severe, and 25% of the individuals who were polled reported having experienced at least one of these conditions. The percentage of respondents has increased from 15% in 2014 to 18% in 2017. In addition, those who have been the subject of cyberbullying are more likely to say that their most recent experience involved more varied varieties of the behavior as well as more severe forms of it compared to 2017. This trend began in 2017. Cyberbullying can be just as destructive to adults as it is to children and college students. In certain cases, it can even be more harmful. On its website, the award-winning nonprofit organization called the Cybersmile Foundation, which is dedicated to digital well-being and combating bullying and abuse online, states that the impact of an internet-based adult hate campaign can be devastating. Cyberbullying, reputation attacks, and harassment online have all seen lives lost, careers and businesses damaged, social and professional reputations destroyed, and entire families are broken beyond repair. To demonstrate this argument, the website provides a link to an article about Leanne Morrison, a mother who was 23 years old when she took her own life after being the victim of vicious internet abuse, another that covers the impact of cyber attacks on corporate reputations, and a third that documents one mother's struggle against months of online attacks from her ex-spouse and the suicidal depression that they brought her to as a result of the attacks. What do you think about this video? Do let us know in the comments section below. If you enjoyed this video and want to hear from us again, be sure to hit that subscribe button before you go.